The economic impact of sports in our region is just incredible, just like the tourism industry.
It's really another way to help people with their personal finances. How do you save that money? How do you grow that money?
It started with a lot of community input, and that's something that we're very, very proud of.
What we've noticed is children who enter kindergarten ready to learn do much better down the road.
Grand & Co Lab is a hub for idea generation, what we like to call ideation.
Welcome to Cox Connections, a link between you, our customers, and what's happening in the community we share. I'm Jeff Merritt, Market Vice President for Cox Roanoke. In an effort to reduce summer learning loss and to help children return to school ready to learn, Cox has invested more than $13,000 in Virginia communities. Children living at the Villages at Lincoln in Roanoke, Swanson Homes in Hampton Roads, and South Barros in Northern Virginia now have access to quality books and learning materials in newly constructed reading corners right in their neighborhoods. Margaret-Hunter Wade, Public Affairs Manager for Cox Roanoke, is here to tell us more. Margaret-Hunter, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so $13,000 for these reading corners. Tell me a little bit about the reading corners.
Yeah, so this was part of a statewide initiative in which we really were looking to make a difference and focus on our youth education initiatives. That's an important part of who Cox Communications is. And so we really wanted to figure out a way that we could make a difference in the lives of children and in a way that would be meaningful, and discovered that summer learning loss is a huge issue for children. Last year, we worked with some existing organizations to supplement their programming that they were offering over the summer to encourage them to kind of further enhance it with learning opportunities. This year, we kind of were thinking about the children who might not even have the funds or the ability to attend a summer program. What are those children doing all summer? Likely, they're staying in their neighborhood and they're at home with older siblings or a sitter of some sort and not getting exposure to learning opportunities. That amounts to probably 2 months on estimate of summer learning loss is what they call it. So when a child goes back to school and they've lost 2 months of their learning from when they left school, they have to make all of that up before they can actually start learning again, the new material. So that's a real problem, particularly in low-income neighborhoods. So we targeted community housing programs, and in Roanoke, we partnered with the City of Roanoke Redevelopment and Housing Authority to find an urban community that we could put in a reading corner and provide these children access to learning materials over the summer.
That's great, and this included volunteer work from a number of different people, and we had a great grand opening. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so this project had, kind of as you mentioned, multiple steps to it. We literally started with a blank slate, a corner in the Village at Lincoln in Roanoke, at the Villages at Lincoln in their community center. So after seeing the corner and kind of coming up with some ideas of how we could make this, the whole idea was for it to be something that was fun and engaging, so bright colors. We utilized the Digis mascot from Cox. Children really respond to him, holding books, kind of just to inspire them to come in, sit down, and hang out. So it has comfortable seating, a bright rug, chairs that are kid-sized, a table for them to be able to sit down and look at books. And we also provided games and other flashcards, learning materials for these children. But we recruited Cox volunteers here from Roanoke, and they came out on a Friday afternoon and spent several hours literally building this from the ground up. So it was assembling bookshelves and laying down the rug. We put in a computer station with a desktop computer in there. So we had to build all of that, put it together. So that was a fun team building type opportunity for our employees to really feel the passion that we have for giving back to our communities, and particularly this focus on youth education. After that, we invited the community in to join us for a ribbon cutting, and that included not only our partners at the City of Roanoke Redevelopment and Housing Authority, it included local elected officials and some of our partners from various community organizations to come in and really celebrate what we had done, and just to kind of announce this new opportunity for these children.
Very well received program. It's fantastic what we're doing there.
Yeah, it's been great. And just to see the children's face, so children also joined us that morning for the ribbon cutting. For them to get access after all the adults had left and they could just really get in there and dig into what was available to them, they were just so excited. Some of them saw titles of books that they loved, and they, were really just overcome, shouting out the names. Oh, I can't believe we've got this book, and just doing exactly what we hoped they would do, which was come in, sit down, open up a book, and really take that time over the summer out of all the fun that is also kind of distracting in the summer to sit down and learn. So that was it just was a great experience, and it felt so good to see the reaction on their faces.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so that's part of a number of different things that Cox does in the community. And I know back to school is coming soon. And what do we have teed up for back to school, and particularly tied in with our Connect to Compete program?
Yeah, so Connect to Compete is a very important program for Cox. That is our way to bridge the digital divide, which is bringing internet accessibility to those who otherwise wouldn't be able to afford internet access at home. It's $9.95 internet per month. It has no contract that has to be signed. It's month to month, no additional service fees or taxes. That is what the family pays. The only thing that they have to do is to demonstrate that they have a child who is receiving free lunch through the National School Lunch Program. So families are encouraged, if they are eligible, to call in and receive information about it, but we're also going out into the community to share that information. The computer station that I mentioned that we have at the Reading Corner has information about Connect to Compete there. We'll also be at the Back to School Blast, which is a partnership of various community organizations spreading the word about Connect to Compete there, looking for any way that we can get flyers and distribute information out to folks to learn more about Connect to Compete and how it might benefit them and their family.
That's amazing. That's great stuff. And so, and that's not all. I mean, certainly we're doing that stuff, and we do a lot of partnership with the Boys and Girls Club as well.
Yes, Boys and Girls Club is a longstanding partner of ours here at Cox, and not only do they work with us on Connect to Compete, but we also, in keeping with our youth education theme and trying to keep kids engaged over the summer, we had an opportunity to partner with Discovery Communications for a Shark Week preview with children at the Boys and Girls Club this summer. So we met them at Center in the Square, and they actually got to watch a sneak preview before it aired of one of the Shark Week episodes. So of course for the kids to be able to see that was very exciting. We used the big screens that they have at Center in the Square, and then it was set right there in their aquariums, so it tied into what they were learning about through the video, and then they had their educator on site to talk to the children and teach them about sharks while we were there as well.
That's a great focus all the way around on youth and education. We're doing some fantastic stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
More Cox Connections after the break. Stay with us.